In this video, we're going to take a look at Reader Mode or Reader View in Safari on the iPad. With Reader Mode or Reader View, I've heard it called both, what you're able to do is strip out all of the different ads that are in an article while you're reading it. And we can set this up on a per site basis where it'll go into Reader Mode when you read an article on a specific site, it'll go into Reader Mode automatically. Let's take a look at Reader Mode or Reader View in Safari on the iPad. Let's go to my iPad. So I'm on my iPad here, and the first thing I want to mention is I am using iPadOS 16. Although you do not need to use iPadOS 16 for this feature. You do need to use Safari, but not necessarily iPadOS 16. It is not an iPadOS 16 only feature. Let's see what Reader Mode is. What I'm going to do is open up Safari here. Click on it. I'm over at yahoo.com. Let's go ahead and click on an article. I'm going to go to this article here. Now, when you read an article on a specific website, this is where you can see all of that noise, what I call noise. We have ads at the top. We have ads on the right. It makes it very difficult to read an article because it's just full of ads. We can even have ads in the middle of our article here. Well, with Reader Mode, what we're able to do is strip all of that out. To do that, to go into Reader Mode, what we do is we go up to our address bar here, and then we go over to the right. You're going to see this little paragraph here or double A's. And when I click on it, what I'm able to do is show the reader. When I select this, it goes into Reader Mode, and you can see that there are no ads in here. So it stripped out all of what I call that noise. To go back to the full view, what we do is we just go up to the top here. You're going to see it now has a black double A's. This is telling you that it's in Reader Mode. I just click on this. We go over to Hide Reader, and it brings us back. So that's basically how Reader Mode works. Now, in some cases, when you're reading an article, you may not see all of that article. Let's go with this article here. If we scroll down towards the bottom, you're going to see that it has Story Continues. If you do not click on Story Continues, you're only going to get in Reader Mode what it shows here. So what you may need to do is first go to the article, click on Story Continues or Continue Reading, whatever that website may use, and then once the entire article shows, we go back up to the top, we go over into our Reader Mode, and now you should be able to see the entire article. So in some cases, you may not be able to read the entire article because you have to click on that Story Continues. So just be aware of that. Not all sites use that. Luckily, actually, it's just a few websites. I've seen that Yahoo uses that. But if we go to CNN, you will not see that. Let's go ahead and go to CNN. And what we're going to do is go over to this article here. And I want to put it in Reader Mode. You can see that there's not a lot of space here to read this article because it's full of ads. So now what I do is I just go up to the top here, go to our double A's, and I go to Show Reader. Now, being that CNN does not use that Story Continues, what we're able to do is just read this article, the entire article. Now, what you may want to do is turn it on for specific websites automatically. You can do that as well. So let's say with CNN, what I'd like to do is go into Reader Mode automatically whenever I'm reading an article. To do that, we tap on the double A's. We don't long press on it. We tap on it. And then you're going to see Website Settings. When I select this, what I'm able to do is set it to Use Reader automatically for this website, in this case, CNN. So I just turn this on. And now whenever I go to a CNN article, let's go ahead and open up a new CNN article. It's not going to show here because this is a directory, so I have to pick an article. So let's go ahead and pick on another article here. And what it's going to do is go into Reader Mode automatically. I did not put it into Reader Mode. If you want to take it back out of Reader Mode, all you have to do is just go back up to the top, click on it, and hide the reader. Now there is a shortcut to going into Reader Mode. You do not have to actually take these two steps here, click on it, and then Show Reader. That's two steps. If we long press on it, it'll go into Reader Mode automatically. So let's go ahead and do that. I just long press on it, it goes into Reader Mode. I long press on it again, it goes out. So there's a little shortcut to go into Reader Mode. Now I set it up to go into CNN automatically, go into reader mode automatically with CNN, but I did not do that with Yahoo. Let's go ahead and do that with Yahoo. So all I have to do is just tap on this. I go over to website settings, and then I say use reader mode automatically. I tap on done. So let's say you do this with a lot of sites. You set up reader mode in a lot of different sites. What you would like to do is review those sites. You'd like to see what you set them up in, what sites you set this up in, and maybe turn it off for specific sites. Well, we can do that through Safari's settings. So now what we need to do is go to our settings in Safari. So I'm going to swipe up. We go over to our settings app. From here, what we need to do is go over to Safari. When we're looking at Safari, down towards the bottom, what you're going to see is Reader. When I select this, I can see all of the sites that I'm using reader mode on. So from here, I'm able to turn them on and off individually. Also, what we're able to do is turn on reader mode automatically for all sites. So when we go to a site and there's an article there, when I turn this on, it will automatically go into reader mode. And then what we're able to do is turn it off for specific sites. So maybe I don't want it to do it with Yahoo, but I'd like to do it with every other site. So we can set it up to go into reader mode automatically for specific sites, or what we're able to do is set it up to go into reader mode for all sites and then turn off reader mode for specific sites. And again, this is all done in Safari settings. The last thing I want to mention is this does not work on every site. Some developers, web developers, or websites will turn this off because they want you to see those ads. So it may not work on all sites, but I have found that it does actually work on most sites. It also will not work when you're looking at a directory. So here I'm looking at an article. I can go into reader mode, but when I go to Yahoo, let's go ahead and go back here. When I go to their main site, I cannot go into reader mode. So I'm looking at their main site. I can't go into reader mode here because it's more of a directory. You have to be at an article. So that is how reader mode works in Safari on the iPad. Basically what we're able to do is strip out all of that noise, all of the ads. It doesn't work on every site, but it works on most sites from what I've seen. We can have it go into reader mode automatically for specific sites, or we can flip that around and have it go into reader mode automatically for all sites and then turn off specific sites. So that is how we use reader mode in Safari on the iPad.